Attending the dinner for the first time as commander-in-chief, President Trump took his place at the front of the room.
And we're going to get started now, so enjoy your dinner, and we'll be back. Thank you.
11 minutes later, as guests settled into their meals, mentalist Oz Perlman, the scheduled entertainer, was showing the president and first lady a trick. Then, in the back of the room, plates crashed as attendees dove to the floor and under tables. Some could smell gunpowder. In 10 seconds, the Secret Service surrounded and whisked out the first couple. They nearly lifted the vice president out of the room. Surveillance footage shows the suspect, 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California, raced by magnetometers just a staircase above the ballroom. He was quickly tackled and apprehended. With the suspect detained, guests climbed up from under the tables and picked themselves off the floor. Secret Service began to secure the room and the kitchen. It started sweeping out other senior officials: the Treasury Secretary, the House Speaker, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose father and uncle were assassinated. Also in attendance, Erica Kirk, whose husband, conservative activist Charlie Kirk, was assassinated last year. The White House Correspondents Dinner is one of the biggest events of Washington's social calendar, held at the Washington Hilton, one of the capital's largest public spaces. It's also where President Ronald Reagan was shot in March 1981 after speaking in the very same ballroom. The president, who'd wanted to continue with the dinner, was held backstage by Secret Service for more than an hour. When he returned to the White House, he and cabinet secretaries headed to the briefing room.
In that moment, when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
It's always shocking when something like this happens. It's happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact we were sitting right next to each other, the First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. You know, I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him. But, so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't.
When asked about the uptick in political violence last night, President Trump said he tries not to dwell on it, but called his line of work, quote, a dangerous profession. It was the third instance of a gunman in his...
Assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor
Well,
events?
but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away. So he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know, I'm not going to be, I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, there was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead, Kevin.
Do you know any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
Nothing. No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot.
Where's that at? Inside? They're not inside. Nobody comes in here.
Okay, so we're here on the White House Correspondents Dinner. The stage is right here. President Trump was sitting right over here. We saw just a state of chaos. There's Dr. Oz actually right over there. Many of the cabinet members who were here were rushed out of this dinner. The Secret Service rushed to the stage, guns drawn, long guns drawn, and the president initially was just sitting there as all of this was going on, and then rushed out. And now we're here on the floor of the Hilton Ballroom, White House Correspondents Dinner, a place this dinner has been held for years, and unclear what is happening. Most of the officials that were here have been rushed out, but the dinner has been abruptly halted. Keep in mind, this is the first dinner that Donald Trump has ever been at as President of the United States. A lot of attention to this moment, and chaos, frankly, a frightening moment. I mean, to see Secret Service agents rushing in, crashing over barricades, long guns drawn, the president rushed out, Secretary of Health and Human Services Bobby Kennedy rushed out looking quite frightened. We'll see. I get the sense things are secure now, and we'll learn more about what happened.
Somebody in a car drove through the police barricade.
Watch out.
They asked this person who they were, and they said, I'm the effing First Lady of the United States, and they just put their foot on the gas and they sped through the police barricade.
Stop! Stop moving now!
Why is he not fucking driving away? Why is the car not driving away? Should we fucking leave?
No, you're okay. It's okay. It's a girl.
Dumb bitch driver. Now I'm gonna have to mute this audio. Fuck. Literally women driver behaviors. And now this guy's on a bike. What the fuck is a guy on a bike gonna do?
I was talking to her for 15 minutes. Yeah. And then she goes out with her camera, goes up to one of the cars, and the cops just went ballistic.
You're here for work. Where are you from? We got you. Was a reason given for her arrest? Was there? And what is that reason?
You're not related to her, so I'm not going to give you that information.
I'm sorry?
You're not related to her, so I'm not giving you that information. You got to be relative.
Got to be relative. Okay.
Shooter at the White House Correspondents Dinner has a very interesting LinkedIn profile that's just surfaced on X. I've taken that profile and I've done a little bit of a digging around because there was some key words in that just triggered, for me, some curiosity. One was that his connection with JPL. So he's graduated from Caltech with an engineering degree in 2017. He earned a master's in computer science in 2025. But in the summer of 2014, he held a summer undergraduate research fellowship at NASA's JPL. His work involved adding modelling capability for planets around previously excluded stars, updating chemical reaction data, and identifying discrepancies between model versions. He also interned at mechanical engineering and designing 3D printed wearable cases for medical control systems. He was named Teacher of the Month in the LA County. He released an indie game called Bodrum on Steam, and his voter registration lists no party preference. So this is where it becomes notable in his profile. Alan's 2014 JPL fellowship places him inside the laboratory during a period where at least 2 of the scientists that are currently missing scientists investigation were actively working there. Frank Maywald, JPL scientist, is one of them, had been at the laboratory since 1999, and he specialised in instruments capable of detecting biochemical signatures on other worlds. He died on the 4th of July 2024 at 61, no cause of death, and no autopsy was ever performed, and NASA and JPL didn't release any public statements on that. Michael David Hicks, also a research scientist at JPL for 24 years, specialised in the physical properties of comets and asteroids. He worked on NASA's DART asteroid deflection mission. He died on the 30th of July 2023. He was age 59, and his cause of death was also never made public. Carl Grillmer. Now, this is the most recent, obviously February 16, 2026. He was the astrophysicist at Caltech's IPAC, which operates in close integration with JPL. Materials Processing Group has been missing, Monica Reza was the director of JPL's Materials Processing Group, was missing since June 2025 and after vanishing while hiking. So we know about those 2 cases. They're probably the most well-known, apart from McCasland. But Alan's internship work on planetary modelling and chemical reaction data sits adjacent to the biosignature detection and planetary categorization research that defines the careers of Maywald and Hicks. So the FBI and House Oversight Committee are currently investigating those deaths and disappearances of those 11 scientists and counting, tied to the aerospace, nuclear and classified defense programs. The committee has requested briefings from FBI, DOD, DOE and NASA with a deadline of April 27. So from where I'm sitting in Australia, the date is the 26th. It's the 25th in the US. There's no motive at this stage about the shooting. Of course, this is a breaking story and there's still an active investigation and God knows what else is going to come up. But it's just a real pattern of people who seem to be involved in the research ecosystem community having non-ordinary end of life. And why on earth would a Teacher of the Month change course and become a potential assassin? It makes no sense. And maybe, I'm just drawing connections where there are no connections to be made. And I'm not certainly drawing any conclusions on that. I'm just saying, it's just weird, don't you think? What do you reckon?
Attending the dinner for the first time as Commander-in-Chief, President Trump took his place at the front of the room.
And we're going to get started now. So enjoy your dinner, and we'll be back. Thank you.
11 minutes later, as guests settled